Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And it's always a pleasure, and I mean that, to say hello to you. So if you can say hello, we'll say hello back as you get your notifications this morning. Hello, Andrea from Niagara Falls, and Brahim right up at the top. Lucille, you're getting there. Paula Joe, you guys are unreal. Sandy from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Brahim is enjoying his coffee, and Rosalinda right up at the top too, from Niagara Falls. And Lisa, how are you? Maria from Ottawa, how are you? Rosalinda saying she's from the kidneys of Canada. Yes, for sure. Hi, Kev. Our mayor is on with us this morning. How are you, Kev? Lynn, Aurora, Rosa, Moriel, Dave, how are you? From Cardiff. Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia, bright and early. Nice to have you on. Hi, John and Linda from Funland Falls. Nativity, Fran is on from Orangeville. Diane from Peterborough. Carol is from West Virginia. Etta, good morning. Maureen is on with us from Boca Raton. Darlene, Alberta. Sandy, how are you? From PA, Pennsylvania. Norma, Adeline, Rose from Brampton. Linda from New Brunswick. Dennis, Norwich, good morning. Patricia from Pulaski, Tennessee. How are you? Cheryl, West Virginia. Denise, good morning to you. Nativity saying, yeah, rainy. Rainy here, my word. Rita, Cindy, we had the sun for a couple of days. It was so much fun. Wanda from Virginia. Lori and Ryan, how are you? Sarasota, Florida. Laurie from Cambridge. Carol from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Wendy's on with us this morning from Markham. How are you? Danny Lay, Iron Bridge. Yvonne, Williams Lake, British Columbia. I bet you it's beautiful there. Anne, how are you? In St. Catharines. Wendy from Aylmer. Brendan from Craig and Darla in Indiana. Cecilia, in the clouds. Rita is in Rainy Berry. Wanda, Ridgeway, Ontario. Elaine, St. John's, Newfoundland. Janice, how are you? Nellie. Vanda, how are you from PEI, Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Karen is on with us from Sault Ste. Marie. Hi, Lise, with your emoji, saying hi to me and everyone else. Mary saying hi to Dave and Elga. Rosemary, Moncton, New Brunswick. Douglas, how are you, my friend? Sue's on with us from Bolton. And Yolande, see? I wait for you, Yolande, to come on and say hello. How are you? Judy, Heather, Chaz, Veronica, and Amanda. Hi, Amanda, in Timmins, Ontario. Brandon, Maryland, Charlottetown. Good morning. Milika from Stouffville. Okay, a couple of more. What does it in the clouds mean? Means I didn't see them. Kathy, Janine, doing the 20 on day 24 of the reset. Janine, good for you. Good for you. Hi, Gwen from Alberta. Cheryl from Lighthouse Cove. Okay, let's get going, guys, because I got to talk about this. Now, this is a very interesting, am I going to say a study? I don't know if it's a study. But what they did is they analyzed, okay, they compared 1909 to 2019, 110 years. Okay, the difference in consumption in America. Okay? I don't know how they got the 1909 stuff, but they did. Okay? And they did it what they call a per capita. Okay? So annual consumption per capita, 1909 versus 2019. Very, very interesting. And no wonder 93% of the population in America and North America have what we call metabolic syndrome. Okay? Now listen to this, okay? And you know what? I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it on our private Facebook group, okay? Because it's fascinating, okay? So in 1909, beef consumption per capita, 64 pounds a year, 1909, of beef. It's now down to 56 pounds a year in 2019. And consumption of red meat has gone down. We know that. Okay? Pork, 66 pounds. And in 2019, 51 pounds. Gone down. Whole milk, this is very interesting. Whole milk went from 232 pounds per capita a year per person down to 51 pounds. 232 to 51, and that's not all. Right in the study it says, and skim milk is the most dominant. It's the number one selling milk is skim milk. They take the fat of it, and I've said this to you a million times. It's white Pepsi now. You drink skim milk, you might as well have a Pepsi. Okay? When you take the fat out of milk, you denature it big time. Okay? 232 pounds to 51. That is what a contrast. Butter, 18 pounds per capita, per person, per year, down to 6 pounds of butter. Of course, fat makes you sick. Fat makes you fat. Fat gives you cholesterol. If you think that message didn't take hold in our society, it's crazy how people shifted everything. Based on what? A huge lie. Lard, 12 pounds a year to 1.5 pounds a year of lard. Well, lard's bad, right? Eggs, 305 eggs a year in 1909 to 305 down to 280 eggs a year. You know, here's what went up. Cheese went up. Cheese consumption, but let me just say it. In 1909, it was 4 pounds a year. Today, it's 18 pounds. But, and they put this right in the study here, their observation. The 18 pounds of cheese was mostly processed cheese. Okay? Cheese went up. Not real cheese, but cheese went up. Okay, and this is interesting now. In the second column, okay? So what did we learn in column number 1? Is that things have changed drastically. Because the lie about cholesterol, and remember, cholesterol is only found in the animal kingdom. It's only found in dairy. It's only found in eggs. It's only found in meat. It's not in the plant kingdom. You can't get cholesterol in the plant kingdom. And so they vilified the animal kingdom because of cholesterol and fat. It's saturated. Like butter, you got to replace that. Anyway, let's keep going because you'll find this interesting too. 2019 versus 1909, 110 years difference soybean oil. Okay, now we're going to get into some fats, man-made, okay, that weren't there in 1909. Okay, this is really interesting. Soybean oil, 0 pounds in 1909. 56 pounds, the average American. This is American studies, but Canada's no different, okay? Per capita, it's no different. We eat the same as Americans. So what? We went from 0 soybean oil, 0, to 56 pounds on average per person a year. In 2019, I guarantee you guys, it's worse today. Corn oil, 0 pounds, 12 pounds a year. Canola, Canada's gift to the world. Canola, Canada oil. That's canola, okay? 0 pounds in 1909 to 14 pounds a year. So soybean oil is more popular than corn oil, canola oil. Okay, these are seed oils. Canola is a cotton seed oil. 14 pounds a year compared to 0 in 1909. High fructose corn syrup, 0. Of course, it was only invented in 1980. 38 pounds, the average North American consumes, 38 pounds of high fructose corn syrup a year. Oh, I get a migraine, guys. I get a migraine. High fructose corn syrup, the antichrist of sugars. Made by man. It's not in nature. It destroys people's health because it's different than even any other glucose. It's a fructose. Okay, it must be good. Fructose. Nah. It destroys people's liver. You get children with fatty liver. It elevates. It's so damaging to your heart. Why? Because it elevates your triglycerides. It packs up the liver. We went from 0 in 1909, of course, because it wasn't even invented, okay, to 38 pounds, okay, to 38 pounds. And guys, that's not even talking about refined sugar. They didn't have refined sugar in 1909. Okay? They had sugar, but sugar was very expensive. I remember when I was studying the history of food, and you look at sugar, and I've told you this many a time, but I'll do it again. Like, when I was born, we were consuming 25 pounds of sugar a year, on average. Okay? My children were born, another generation, were all born in the 1970s. They were consuming, I'm not saying my kids were, but 50 pounds of sugar a year, the average North American. And today, it's a dump truck load, like almost 200 pounds. It's crazy. And just high fructose corn syrup 2019 is 38 pounds of that. Like, it is insanity. Your body would never make it. It doesn't even know what that is. Your body does not know what high fructose corn syrup is. It wasn't built for it. And it goes directly to the liver. It destroys microbiome too, by the way. But anyway, bottled soda. Did they not have soda in 1909? I'm sure they did. But it doesn't say it here. It says 0 gallons. 38 gallons a year of soda. Average. 2019. 38 gallons of soda. The average person. I shake my head. It's not that I didn't know it, but I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. Okay? Industrial breakfast cereal. Okay? Like you might have had some oatmeal when you were in 1909. But today, go down the middle aisles of the grocery stores, and here's what they're saying. The average North American consumes 10 pounds of that a year, compared to 0 in 1909, because it wasn't industrial. It was real oats. Okay. In 1909, the average weight of the adult in North America, okay, the adult average weight was 154 pounds. And today it's 198 pounds. Today, 2019. Has it gone up in 2019? I haven't seen recent statistics. 2019 says the average weight of an adult in North America, men and women, 198 pounds. That's the average. Do you think we got bigger? Okay. Do you think we got bigger? What do I always tell you? Go to the mall and look at people. Just sit and have a coffee and just observe. I'm very observant, guys. Okay. I learned that from my daddy. Like when you're in practice, observe. Look at people. Look at their skin. Look at their eyes. Look at their tongue. Look at their eyebrows. Look at their hair. Look at this. Look at that. Because a good doctor, that's what they're doing. They're very observant. Right? And go to the mall and just do an observation study for yourself. Look at people. Look at the size of people. And you go, yeah, things have changed. Okay? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Average adult weight, 154, 1909 to 2019, 198 pounds. Obesity rate in 1909 was under 1%. Under 1%. You just didn't see it. If you saw it, it was rare. Today, the American obesity rate in 2019 is 42%. And guys, since 2019, it's gotten worse. It didn't go down, it got worse. Same country, same families, 110 years difference. Got it? What happened? Right? Well, again, this is what our program is about all the time. Okay? It's making choices. We live in a world that, to some extent, I hate to use the word mad. Okay? I don't mean angry. I mean crazy. Okay? We live in a mad, mad world. Because, guys, they got it upside down. And even today, thank God for, the internet and social media and alternative sources of news and that kind of, thank God. Because, when I was in the radio business, I had an audience, a big audience, but it was limited. Now, I did a lot of radio shows, different shows in Canada. Was a monthly guest, sometimes weekly, even on different radio shows other than mine, the Doctors In radio show. And I was in the minority. I understood that. When we talked about heart disease, and I say, well, I got a different take on it. Okay? And I don't mean to be controversial. I'm going to be controversial, but I don't mean to be. I'm just going to tell you what I think and what I see. And, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I have always been pretty consistent. It's not calories when it comes to weight. It's not calories in and calories out. It's what you're eating. There's a big difference between eating 500 calories of beef versus eating 500 calories of a granola bar or a chocolate bar. They're the same amount of calories, but there's a big difference on how your body breaks that down. People never differentiated that because they didn't understand physiology and how the body reacts. How does your insulin react when you're eating steak or an egg or butter? Butter's got a lot of calories in it. And that's why, you know, if you're just thinking simplicity or in, you just, well, that's a lot of calories. I know, but there's a big but. The big but is your body reacts differently to it. And when the insulin is present in the bloodstream, compared to, for example, an egg versus a granola bar, the difference is drastic. Because insulin, when you're having an egg, is sitting on the sidelines. It doesn't have to rush in to the bloodstream and take that sugar out of there. You're having a piece of bread, but Dr. Martin, it's whole wheat. I don't care. It's just sugar molecules holding hands. Now insulin has got to come into the bloodstream and go crazy. You can't park there. Sugar, out, 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 out. When that's happening, you can't lose fat. It's the way your body works. And so I never bought the calories. Calories in, how many doctors? Well, eat less and move more. Eat less, move more. Nah, it's what you're eating. What are you eating? I'm not asking you because you know. But I ask the world, what are you eating? Line up your food and say, well, look at the calories. Don't look at that. What has that got to do with how your insulin operates? Keep your insulin most of the time on the sidelines, and everything gets better. Everything. They wanted to measure calories, and you have it on a label today. Who cares? What's in it? What are you consuming? How much insulin? What's the insulin response? Because that hormone, insulin, which is on your side, by the way, it protects you from death until it don't work no more. Until every cell in your body says, insulin, you come around so often, I hate your guts. Get out of here. And your cells say, I resist you. I can't stand you. Don't come knocking at my door. I can't. And insulin goes, here's insulin. It says, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you don't want me to come around, cells, then quit eating sugar and quit eating food that turns to sugar in nanoseconds. Stop it, and I won't come around anymore. How about that? That's what happens. Look at the contrast. And you know that diabetes, look, diabetes has been around forever. Okay, guys? It has. But even in the 1950s, even in the 1960s, when my dad became a diabetic, okay, it was rare. It was rare. Was it? In the 1950s, I know this, remember studying this, it was 1% of the population. Today, it's, and you know, guys, like I always say this, guys, you know this as teaching, okay? Like just, you got it, and I like that you have it. The diabetes, remember something about it. It's very important to understand this, because doctors don't understand it. The world doesn't understand this. Diabetes is the last thing to happen. It's not the first. Oh, you're a diabetic. Hello? You really have been a diabetic for at least 10 years. It takes that long for insulin resistance, where your cells are hating insulin's guts, to where you're finally insulin knocks at the door and you don't open up anymore, and sugar stays in the bloodstream where it is destructive. Anybody that tells you sugar isn't toxic, they don't know the human body. Sugar destroys blood vessels. And if you don't know that, what can I tell you? Every diabetic in the world knows it. Sugar is very destructive. And they tell them, okay? You go to a doctor and you got lungs bad. And they tell you, well, they ask you, are you a smoker? Yeah. Well, quit smoking. Now go back to the 1950s and they told you to smoke more. You got lung issues? Cough it out. I'm not kidding you. You know, when you say science, again, when I say you guys, okay, you know I don't mean you, okay? When they, not you, they, when they say science is settled, thank God they didn't say it in 1950s, because they said smoking was good for you. 9 out of 10 doctors choose Camel cigarettes. Ooh, I get a migraine. So when you go to a doctor and your lungs are bad, they go, are you smoking? Yeah. Well, stop it. But here we are, 2026. I'm not kidding you. You go to the doctor, you're a diabetic. Well, you still need some sugar. Your brain won't operate without sugar. You better have, if your blood sugar goes, I'm going to give you a medication because you're diabetic, And when your sugars go down, you better have a chocolate bar. Keep some candy ready. It's like doctors saying, oh, here, you got bad lungs? Here's a cigarette. Today, like even dietitians, I can hardly stand it, guys. I used to have, one of my biggest parts of my practice was diabetics. And a lot of doctors actually referred their patients to see me. Go see Dr. Martin. I think he's a quack, but he seems to know what he's talking about in terms of diabetes. Okay, go see him. I got a lot of referrals. But I used to tell them, well, you have an allergy. What? You have an allergy. Diabetes is an allergy. They look at me like, you're Dr. Martin? I heard you were crazy, but now I know you're crazy. Okay? I have an allergy? Yeah, to sugar. It used to be called sugar diabetes. That's what my dad told me in 1968. Son, it's sugar diabetes. So, you watch, he said to me. I won't have any more sugar. I won't put it in my coffee like I used to. I won't drink soda like I used to with sugar in it. I just won't have it because it's sugar diabetes. And I'm going to try and lick it. Not lick the sugar, but lick the disease. I went to school and learned nutrition. And I had to undo what I learned because I knew my daddy was right. And the nutrition courses I was taking was wrong. But that's all right. I had to pass and I had to get my degree and I had to go move forward. And you know what? I just, in the back of my mind, they're crazier than hoot owls, what they're teaching me. Moderation, moderation. You need sugar. Your brain doesn't work without sugar. And I got taught that, okay? I just, and cholesterol's bad. And I got taught all that in school. But I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. And I resolved to tell the truth. You diabetic, you got an allergy to sugar. And anything that turns to sugar rapidly, you have an allergy. So why would I tell someone who's got bad lungs to keep smoking? Would I do that? Of course not. Do we know that today? Of course we know. Every doctor in the world knows that. But they don't know about diabetes because because they don't learn nutrition in medical school. They leave that, I don't have time for nutrition. I'm studying the human. Jeepers creepers. Do you think food's not important to your health? Imagine isolating food out of the equation of medical school. And now, in the States at least, they're talking about they got to take a nutrition course. Starting in the fall, apparently, of 2026. Every medical school in the US of A, from what I heard, I don't know if that's official or not, are going to take some nutrition. Okay, it's a start. What do I tell you guys? You know more about nutrition than the average bear, but especially the average doctor. You do. I could give you a degree in nutrition. You know more. Okay? And I told you the story. I'll just finish with this. I used to be a consultant. I don't even know if it's just a consultant or what would I say. I used to be hired to teach courses to physicians who wanted to keep up their, they have no choice to keep their license. Doctors in Ontario and Canada, and I'm in the USA, I'm sure it's the same. They have to take so many hours of courses a year in post, to keep their license, postgraduate. So there was a company and I worked for them, and they had a service where if you went for a couple of days in Canada and doctors, they'd line up, for a certain fee, they would come in and they could get all of their credits in 2 days. Okay? And for a lot of doctors, a lot more convenient to do that, right? Than to run around all over trying to get a course here and there and everywhere. And it's probably different today because of doing stuff online. But anyways, I'm talking about, what year was it? In the early 2000s, I think. I'm just trying to remember. I did it for 2 or 3 years. And I would teach them Nutrition 101. I said, we're going to do 101. And always in my head, I go, these guys are doctors. They're doctors. I should be a little bit intimidated because they're doctors. And then I just got reminded, I reminded myself, they didn't get the schooling that I got in nutrition. They know nothing. Almost. They knew nothing. So I would teach them the basics. Okay? Here's a carbohydrate. What are carbs? And I tried to teach them protein is the king of the castle and carbs are the dirty rascals. That went completely against anything that they ever knew. Because I was telling them how the body breaks down food. Anyway. Amazing, huh? Okay. Okay, guys, we got a great week. Got some big studies that I'm looking at. My word. Some real interesting stuff's come out. And we'll talk about it. Okay, what's Friday? Q&A. What's Monday? Usually Q&A. Because we never get through Friday's questions, but that's all right because you guys love that and I get the feedback and you like Q&A. Okay? So don't be shy. Ask your questions. info@martinclinic.com. That gets to me. Okay, I'm breathing and I'm happy that you guys are watching. Love you. Love you lots and see you soon.